Wow, folks, welcome back to News That's Wacked. Buckle up because we've got a wild ride today. We're diving into the top 10 headlines from the past 7 days that'll make you go, wait, what's happening? We're talking the U.S. economy, jobs, real estate, and some hilariously bizarre viral stuff you'll wish you'd never heard, but you absolutely need to know. Let's roll. Okay, picture this. The U.S. stock market just went full fireworks mode. Boom, 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 with the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Dow smashing record highs. Yeah, I know, I'm as shocked as you. Markets were rocking. After a weird pause on tariffs, then kaboom. Stocks rebounded like that one friend you begged to stop texting at 2 a.m. The S&P shot up over 3% last week, NASDAQ popped 4%, Dow climbed nearly 4%. And meanwhile, oil dipped, gold inched up, Bitcoin buzzed over 108K. Feels like a roller coaster made of confetti, right? But hold your confetti cannons. Experts are waving red flags about trade tension, tariffs coming back July 9th, and that massive one big beautiful tax and spending bill bouncing around Congress. So yeah, stock market party now, anxiety attack later. But hey, it's a thrill ride, and I'm terrified. I can't even pick a Netflix show without panic. Okay, next up, sneak peek, simultaneous gym, existential dread, and cry-laughing emojis incoming. That same tax and spend monster is dragging the Senate through amendments. It's 940 pages of pure legislative joy. It wants to extend Trump-era tax cuts, pump money into military and border stuff, and cut welfare and healthcare budgets. Oh, and add another $3+ trillion to the deficit over the next decade. Yes, trillion with a T, like that hot tea on Twitter. Senators are sweating. Conservatives and liberals are at a cage match in the chamber. The CBO says this is fiscal insanity. The deficit balloon's going to explode. But Republicans say, nah, we got growth. Growth? Like my houseplants. Dead. Meanwhile, over in Canada, they dropped their digital services tax aimed at big U.S. tech firms because apparently they made a deal behind the scenes. Markets breathed a sigh of relief as trade tensions eased, causing our indices to keep climbing. Critics say it's like patching a crack in the dam with duct tape. Meanwhile, across the pond, the euro is flexing, rising for 9 days straight against the U.S. dollar, only the third time since 1999. Investors are partying in Europe with over $100 billion flowing into EU equities this year, versus an $87 billion flight from U.S. ones. The euro is basically putting on sunglasses and smirking at the greenback. What does it all mean? U.S. dollars in a slump, maybe worse since the 1970s. Gold's up 25% year to date. Defense stocks surged as NATO preps, and the world's kind of tense. Meanwhile, our Fed is chilling, waiting to see if inflation stays mild before maybe cutting rates. It's a slow, suspenseful opera, painfully long scenes, dramatic pauses, but still opera. Switch scenes. Get your popcorn, because consumer spending in May took a nosedive, down 0.1%, the first decline since January. Cars, boom, down nearly 4% from last month, thanks to tariff pre-shopping in April. Restaurants are quieter. Personal income dropped 0.4 cents. That's $110 billion less. But folks still squeaked out a 4.6% spending increase year over year, buoyed by those sweet wage bumps. So we're shopping harder and funds are thinner. The U.S. economy is like me at the end of the month, trying to stay afloat but hearing bills laugh at me. GDP slumped 0.5% in Q1 of 2025 thanks to rising imports, less government spending. Nemesis, trade deficit. The U.S. ran a $450 billion current account deficit. That's imports minus exports, up from $312 billion in Q4. It's like buying a mega yacht and moaning, but rent's due. And don't even get me started on the U.S. toothache with the tax bill versus trade goals. The plan to extend tax cuts and hike border spending is actually fueling a stronger dollar. Bad for exports, deeper trade deficits, exact opposite of what's advertised. It's economics by 2-year-old logic. I've got less coherent thoughts before my morning coffee. Now, shifting gears, because we love chaos, U.S. stocks again rocketed to new highs thanks to whispers of a U.S.-China rare earth trade deal. Rare earths, like the secret sauce for phones, computers, EVs. Markets are like goldfish trying to process all this. Nike shares soared 15% because they're unaffected by tariffs. Or maybe they're sowing their own unicorn horns, who knows? But then tossed in a curveball. Trump scraps trade talks with Canada after Canada threatened U.S. tech firms with a digital services tax, so he hits back with tariffs. Classic global toddler tantrum. Markets jittered, Economic data shows core inflation's up at 2.7% PCE, above the Fed's 2%, and yet they're like, chill, we'll wait. Meanwhile, consumer and income dip. The Fed's sitting tight. It's like watching a kettle on simmer for 6 months. So that's the serious. Now for the holy cow. Real estate and job side. Job market showing early cooling signs. FT reports job growth is slowing. Wage growth meh. No hurricanes, just blizzards of data. Retail sales dropped. Housing, we haven't touched housing yet. Stay tuned. And now, my favorite, pure madness. Viral Wacked moments. You ready? One story. Red Lobster launched its summer seafoods, mariners, and sailor's boils at $24 to $45. Social media erupted. Splurge or yuck? Some chefs called them garbage water. Others drooled. Internet wars ignited faster than my charger sparks. I'm torn. I love shrimp, hate shells and teeth. Then a worker chilled in a cemetery for lunch to get peace and quiet. Yup. Barely disguised as respectful. People freaked out. Griefers offended. But the worker says, it's peaceful, quiet. Commenters, respectful or creep-tastic. I promise if I did that, I'd end up in a horror movie. Another gem. Man confronts a woman for bringing her tiny pet dog in a no-pets coffee shop. Sparks flew. One side said rules are rules. The other, it's a service dog, emotional support baby. People became amateur lawyers mid-latte. I'm just wishing they'd spilled it, and it wouldn't be me. And best worst? A California house got broken into so often, even bears broke in at night to snack. Like teddy bears, but real bears. They raided the fridge, shredded furniture. The homeowner's like, who's stealing my blueberries? Now bears? I'm busy wondering, what insurance says for bear theft? Also trending, minor league baseball team in Reno had a rabbit throw the ceremonial first pitch. Cute af. The ball got thrown by a bunny, wins hearts and viruses alike. They didn't tell us if it hopped the mound too. Utility workers in Peru uncovered a 1,000-year-old mummy with intact hair. Strange? Absolutely. But don't worry, this isn't an episode of Indiana Jones Goes Wrong. It's real. Locals baffled, archaeologists hyped. The mummy was still stylish as hell. I've had fuzzier haircuts last week. And chill, freaky more, Alaska brown bear got a shiny metal crown on a canine tooth by wildlife vets. Crown. Actual tooth jewelry. He went from bear to bling bear. Instagram models shaking. Now what do you do with all of this? I mean, sure, it's twisted, bizarre, unbelievable. But all real headlines that shaped our week. And I love it. It's dumb, but it's our dumb. And we're here, surviving it together. All right, audience, before we bounce, I want to thank you for staying awake through all that madness. Say hello in the chat or DMs if you're still with me. Hit me up. Which story made you say WTF? Or tell me about your own bear in my house vibes. I want to hear it all. Seriously, I need the validation that my life isn't that weird. Except it kinda is. You've been listening to News That's Wacked, where we share news you should know but wished you didn't. Tune in next week when I try to explain why the Fed might cut rates or whatever's left of my sanity. Until then, take care of your wallets, your lunch spots, and more importantly, your dignity.